rotation there. See, there's the tornado there. Here's Laverne. Zoom all the way in. Here's the edge of the tornado right here. It's 1, 2, 3 miles away from Laverne. 3 miles away from Laverne right now. There's the edge of the tornado. Here's Laverne. It is red line, center line for Laverne right now. See there? See the motion there? Might be making a bit of a jog here to the east. Let's go back to Jeremy Carter looking at that from Log Cabin. Jeremy?
Yeah, Mike. Large debris cloud under this. I got a flash of lightning. I could see a large debris cloud. I'm right under the edge of the bell of this. A very significant area of wrapping rain curtains, also around the tornado itself. But yes, a large tornado in progress. A very dangerous situation. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, let's go to Corey Inman. Corey, cross-check on that. What do you have?
Mike, the people in Laverne have to take this serious. I'm sitting 6 miles. Let me give you my exact location. I'm 6 miles north of Catesby, and we have a house here in front of us, Mike, it's completely gone. If you look at the tree here, I'm going to zoom in on this tree. It stripped the bark off of this tree right here. There's a house back behind there. Like I said, it's completely gone. We have 7 or 8 people in there right now trying to make sure everybody's okay. But house right here, 6 miles north of Catesby, is completely gone, Mike.
Okay, 6 north of Catesby, a house completely gone. And there it is right there. Corey's in the damage track right behind the tornado, okay? So we suspect this is of the F4 intensity, folks, give or take. We really do. We suspect this might be an F4. It looks stronger than an F3 to us. Looking at it, the motion has been violent, looks like an F4, and it has been up to and over a half a mile wide. So it's at the top end of the danger scale. Motion's been violent, multi-vortex. It's still on the ground. Here's Laverne. Here's the tornado. You see the motion. Just draw a line there. And it's now 3.5 to 3 miles due southwest of Laverne. Here's the edge of the tornado right here. 1, 2, 3 miles southwest of Laverne right now, moving northeast. So you need to wrap all that up in Laverne. Wrap it up right now. Be where you want to be here for the next 15, 20 minutes. All right? You got to be in that spot now. Don't wait any longer. You're out of time. Still heading for Laverne, has not lifted yet. Let's hope and pray it lifts, but you've got to be in that spot now. You got to be where you are going to be safe in Laverne. Everybody in Laverne here. We need to get this to lift. Let's go back to Jeremy Carter here live. Jeremy?
Yeah, Mike, I fixed to turn back north. I'm still seeing a large tornado back to my northwest. I'm going to turn north. I'll have you a shot of the town of Laverne as this passes over. I'm hoping and praying it'll go south or maybe north of Laverne, but I'm not sure. It's really, really close, Mike. We're going to watch this very close. Back to you.
Okay, so you're now northbound, is that right? Up on Laverne Highway from Log Cabin, is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I'm going northbound.
Okay, so you folks in Laverne here, we're talking just a matter of minutes now. We are now currently looking northbound out of Log Cabin on 283, heading into Laverne now. Are you about 2 north of Log Cabin here, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm just now north of Highway 412, probably about I would say maybe a half a mile. Mike, back to you.
All right. It may potentially travel 1 or 2 south of Laverne, but it's going to, no, I don't know about that. It looks like it's still going to go right over Laverne. Have you seen any power flashes here lately? He's going to pan the camera to the left. There it is, right there. There it is. Okay, so basically, to get your point of reference here, you folks in Laverne know exactly where he is. So that's 283 north. North 5 miles from where he is Laverne, north 5 miles. The tornado is to his left or to the northwest, and it's moving northeast into Laverne, all right? So you see the track motion there, right? So you're looking northbound to Laverne, northwestward to the tornado. The tornado is moving northeastward into Laverne, now exactly 3 miles southwest of town. We need to get this to lift. Power flashes occasionally, lightning flashes occasionally. Jeremy Carter, go.
Yeah, Mike, so there's still a big, large funnel, a lot of dirt swirling underneath it. This thing is definitely intermittently on the ground right now. But this wall cloud is absolutely huge. It's a massive area. Market rotation. The tornadoes can't be no more than a mile and a half, possibly 2 miles to my west, northwest at this point. So it's just really, really close, really a scary situation for the folks in Laverne. It's very important for people to take their tornado precautions. Back to you, Mike.
It looks like there's debris swirls perhaps underneath the wall cloud, looking at it in the lightning. It's been multi-vortex. Corey Inman reported a house completely gone down north of Catesby. So we're looking, we really are looking, folks, at an EF4 tornado here. And it may not be that strength right now. There might be some weakening trail. It looks like the tornado vortex signature's redeveloped just in the last scan here. So it looks like, let's go back over to radar here, take that full for a second. And the tornado, the TVS here looks like it's redeveloped. Again, folks, it's red line, center line for Laverne. There's no two ways about it here. And it's going to be, it's 9:02 right now, and the edge of the tornado is coming into Laverne. Let's go back over to Jeremy. We've got Mike Bennett and Corey Inman as well. Jeremy Carter, go. Let's look at your stream here. You're looking northbound here up 283. It is likely, very much likely, still on the ground. I think we see suction spots there. Let's hope we don't see power flashes here coming up. Laverne, you've got to be in that spot now, and this is as serious as it gets. Go, Jeremy Carter.
So, Mike, I'm thinking I'm seeing actually two different funnels underneath this meso, and maybe I'm wrong. It's really getting kind of hard to see. It's not, but I know I've seen a funnel on the north side of the meso, and also it looked like a cone for a split second before the rain wrapped in back on the southwest side of it, and the RFD's starting to wrap around, and I'm hoping it don't obscure our view, but we're right here. It's definitely a nice funnel. Oh, below the wall cloud, debris swirl on the ground. Folks in Laverne need to be taking cover now. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, the tornado, folks, is now a mile southwest of Laverne right now. 1 mile southwest of Laverne. It's still, unfortunately, on the ground, and it's red line, center line for Laverne. It's got to lift here immediately, otherwise we're going to get tornado damage in Laverne. So we need to just hope and pray for the best right here. You folks in Laverne, everybody should be absolutely in your spot right now. We hope the word has gotten out for Laverne. It's red line, center line coming right into town right now from the southwest. So you need to be in that spot right now with a tornado direct impact appearing to be imminent in Laverne. It does still appear to be on the ground. Let's hope and pray it lifts immediately. You see the tornado vortex signature there coming into Laverne, the red and the green together. It's now 1 mile southwest of Laverne. You see the motion there coming directly. Might be more on the south side of town potentially, but the entire town of Laverne here is red line, center line. Jeremy Carter is going to be basically at point blank range. He's right down here on 283. So here you are looking north on 283. Let's take a look at this stream. And he's at a vantage point here looking into Laverne. It looks like you can see the city lights of Laverne way off in the distance. Can you, Jeremy?
No, I actually can't. It's obscured, but we got a lot of cars used to pass. I'm probably going to have to reposition, move north so I don't get caught in the wraparound wind in the rain.
Okay, let's go over to Mike Bennett here. Let's keep Jeremy's stream. Let's go to Mike Bennett. Go, Mike Bennett.
Okay. All right, Mike. Yeah, we're just a couple miles south of her. We're just about a mile behind the wall cloud, the tornado, Mike. And while we don't have a condensation funnel visible, it's on the ground. It's got to be. This is a very low wall cloud. There's a lot of motion in there. I've got a lot of law enforcement that's moving into Laverne right now, and so I've got some coming around me, Mike. Just a second here. All right. We're just slowly drifted into Laverne right behind it, and
it's 9:05 now, folks. The tornado coming into southwest Laverne. So again, obviously the time is up. Everybody in Laverne should be in the very safest place they know. And you can't be in a trailer or a mobile home or a temporary structure. You got to find something more safe, and you should have done that by now. You need to have done that by now because we're looking northbound now into Laverne, and it does still appear to be multi-vortex, occasionally on the ground. We don't see a solid cone of a tornado, but it's been a violent tornado back downstream. Houses north of Catesby have been destroyed down to the southwest of Laverne. So this is ultimately serious. Hopefully everybody's hunkered down in Laverne. You're looking northbound on 283 into Laverne, only 2.5 to 3 miles up the road. And the tornado now is coming into Laverne right now at 9:06. Go, Jeremy Carter. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, the wraparound, the RFD has kind of hit us really hard. It's limiting our visibility. We've had really hard winds coming out of the west, say maybe 50 to 60 mile an hour, blowing mist. Really a very scary situation with this being at night. We got some people that apparently figured out what's going on. They're going to turn around and go back south. But this is not a situation for the folks of Laverne to take lightly, Mike. Excuse me. Very serious situation unfolding here. Back to you.
Okay, so everybody in Laverne now should just very simply be in their safe spot. Looks like Jeremy's crossing the creek there a few miles to the south of Laverne right now, and the circulation is coming into Laverne. Tornado warning continues. Still show a tornado vortex signature. Let's go to radar here real fast. Again, everybody in Laverne should be totally in there. You can keep that triple box there. Still showing a strong, folks, a strong tornado vortex signature. It is absolutely dead line, center line for Laverne here, and it's coming into town right this very moment in time. So this is Laverne right here. The tornado considerable in size. It is violent. It's been multi-vortex. We think it could have been. Let's hope it still is not, but we think it was an F4 a short while ago. It's now red line. This is a mile away, coming into the outskirts of Laverne right now, or less. Let's go back to Jeremy Carter. He's looking at it up 283 here. Let's go to his live stream full. We don't want to see any power flashes here. Everybody in Laverne, the time has been up for a while here on your precautions. Hopefully everyone has heeded this warning, and we hope and pray for your safety now. We hope and pray the tornado now has lifted. We're going to know here basically in a matter of moments here exactly what's going on, because it is going into Laverne right now, 9:08 p.m. on this Thursday evening, the 23rd of May. Jeremy Carter, go.
Yeah, Mike, I really still can't see a lot. I got these law enforcement have kind of packed it around us. They're marching into town with this as it's going north. We're still getting an intense westerly wind coming off the backside of this meso. Really blinding rain, really kind of a scary place to be in here. It's dark, can't see a lot. Very scary situation, Mike. Back to you.
Okay, let's keep your stream full. If you see power flashes, or just pot up Mike Bennett also, guys. Let's pot up Mike Bennett. And you guys are all going to be hot here. Our multiple trackers that we have. Mike Bennett, you're hot here, so we do hear you. Let's just watch here as this goes through Laverne. Tornado warning. We think it was an F4. Let's hope it is not still an F4. The time basically has been up. As far as your tornado safety precautions, everybody should be totally, completely hunkered down in Laverne in the safest place that you know. Out of those mobile homes, temporary structures, and trailers, they're so far from being safe. So everybody should be hunkered down. There are a lot of tornado shelters, a lot of basements up in Laverne, northwest Oklahoma. Let's hope as many folks as possible are hunkered down as best they can as we watch this hopefully not go into Laverne. Okay. Mike Bennett, what do you have?
Yeah. All right, Mike. Yeah, it's right now the rain is wrapped around it. We're following law enforcement into town, so what we're looking for is power flashes. I've had a power flash. Okay, they're looking for damage right here now. We may have some damage here on the highway here, but had a power flash here about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and that's the only one I've seen. Looks like Laverne's just blacked out. I don't see any lights in there. That could be because of the heavy rain that's on top of right now, but we're just looking for power flashes, any signs that the tornado's on the ground and moving through Laverne. But right now we don't have that. And so we're just we're drifting up the highway following law enforcement.
You were talking about blacked out. Describe that to us, the power being blacked.
Well, I just can't see Laverne. I don't think I'm but maybe a mile south of town, maybe 2 at the most, and there's no lights. The chase partner says we're 2 miles south. There's no lights at all in there, and so I don't know if they've lost electricity or if it's just there's such heavy rain between us and Laverne. But right now I don't see anything. Okay. It's just black up ahead of me, Mike.
Okay. Let's go over briefly to Max 1 just here for about 5 seconds. Max 1 for about 5 seconds. So here's Laverne. The green and the red coming together is the tornado, all right? So it's basically, if it's on the ground, and it looks like it is, it's in Laverne right now. In fact, it's going through Laverne right now. Back to Mike Bennett. Go, Mike. Hope and pray for folks' safety here.
Yeah, we're looking straight up the highway, no power flashes. Okay, now, here's the thing. If Laverne's lost electricity, there may not be any power flashes. Okay, they may have taken some power lines down before it came into town, and so they're without electricity. So it could be doing damage in town right now. We just don't know. We're gonna know here in a matter of moments. We're getting back here just about 2 miles south. We had 50 to 60 mile an hour RFD winds, so it was very likely still on the ground as it approached Laverne. The one thing that we can hope for is that we lost the large cone feature and when it was a quarter mile wide. So when it came into town, hopefully it wasn't as strong. But anyway, right now we're in heavy rain. We're coming into town. I think I see the city limit sign here, and getting some really strong west winds, wind-driven rain.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you what we know from here, folks. If you're just now tuning in, we just quick backtrack. We've had what we believe to be every bit of an F4 tornado southwest of Laverne. There's at least one home leveled down by Catesby and 6 north of Catesby. And we have watched this multi-vortex large wedge tornado, a half-mile wide, make a direct path for Laverne. We've been warning everybody in Laverne. Power may or may not be out in Laverne. We have seen multiple power flashes down by Log Cabin on the west side when it crossed 412. The power may or may not have been cut off to Laverne. We don't know, but based off radar, it looks like a tornado has I'm just saying what it looks like, all right? We don't know. We certainly hope and pray it did not. It looks like the tornado went through Laverne. So that's where we are right now. I mean, I'm just telling you what it looks like, all right? It looks like a tornado vortex signature that's quite strong just went through Laverne, and the power may or may not have been out, but we have not seen very many power flashes, but I don't know how this is. Let's hope that it is, right? But I don't know how this cannot be a tornado going through. Let's hope and pray that it lifted, all right? We're going to hope for the best here. Let's go back over to Mike Bennett. He's coming into town right now. We hope and pray for everybody's safety in Laverne. Again, half-mile wide, multi-vortex F4 tornado earlier, and it was on the ground as it was coming into Laverne. Let's hope it has lifted. Mike, have you seen any power flashes?
Mike, we have not seen any power flashes. That could be good news. I've got about 8 state troopers and sheriff's department vehicles in front of us leading us into town, and they're spotlighting the power lines and stuff. So far, the road's been stayed open. Okay, we're coming into town right now, and
we hope and pray this tornado lifted.
Yeah.
We don't know right now, folks, but whatever that was, it just went through. Based on radar, it was a tornado vortex signature. We hope that it has lifted. We're going to find out, and we hope and pray for everybody in Laverne and their safety. That circulation now on the northeast side of Laverne, up near the past the cemetery, moving away. Isn't there a power substation, Mike, on the south side of Laverne down there?
Yeah, Mike. There's some kind of a plant down there. I'm not sure if it's a substation or maybe even a gas plant. But we're coming into town right now. Laverne has no electricity. It's completely blacked out. Law enforcement split right when it came in town. They're fanning out. Right now, coming down Highway 283 right through the middle of town, I have not seen any damage, and I hope that remains the case. But right now, I don't see any damage. I don't see any debris laying around. A lot of times we, just like yesterday, with tornado pass, we had debris raining down on us. That's not happening right now. Got to get your wind up. So right now it's just I think we're coming out on the north edge of Laverne now. Now that's just through the middle of town. Okay, we could have damage on the west side. We could have damage on the east side, and so we're just gonna have to wait to learn that. But right now, okay, Mike, I'm coming into downtown. I'm just coming into Main Street now. And still looking for damage. And I don't know, Mike. At least right through the middle of town, down Main Street, Laverne looks okay. But
Buffalo 9:38. Buffalo 9:38 p.m. this evening. It's 9:15 right now. Buffalo 9:38. You folks in Buffalo 9:38. County seat of Harper County 9:38 or a little before. It's 9:16 right now. So 20 minutes or a little bit less. Buffalo 20 minutes or a bit less from right now. Get ready to take your tornado precautions. Mike, the center of that circulation may have gone on the west and north side of town based on radar, but we don't know for sure looking at radar from back here in Oklahoma City. But so far, you don't see any damage. Let's go over to Jeremy Carter. He's also in Laverne. Let's go ahead and take a look from him. Jeremy, what do you see?
Yeah, Mike, so I've made it all the way through the town of Laverne. I'm coming out on the north side. We got blinding misty rain. Power appears to be out of the town of Laverne. I have yet to see any damage. I have seen a little bit of leaf litter on the roadway. We're trying to get back up to this couplet, Mike, and it's pretty challenging with the situation here. And I'm trying to play it carefully in case we run across any damage on the roadways. So I have completely cleared the town of Laverne with no debris. Mike, back to you.
That's fantastic. Best possible news right here coming out of Laverne. So far, we do not see any damage, and that is a miracle. It is a miracle answered. For Laverne, let's hope there isn't any damage on the outskirts of Laverne. Other parts of Laverne we have not seen. But this is a miracle answered right here. This has been tagged as a considerable threat by the Weather Service, by our storm trackers, looking at radar. So far, we do not see any damage in Laverne. This is fantastic news. Let's go back over to Mike Bennett. Mike, what do you see?
Okay, Mike, we're driving through the west side of town. Now, we're going to be in the northwest part of town. So far, so good. I've got my overhead light on, and we're lighting it up pretty good here. And I'm not seeing any damage. And we're just going to keep driving around and hope for the best. But, I mean, there's thing with the storm being a multiple vortex, there's a possibility, Mike, that, you might have had one little vortex go through here. So the damage is going to be very isolated, not widespread. But right now, we're not even seeing isolated damage. So, we're just going to hope for the best here and hope that holds true, Mike.
Again, so we have 3 storm trackers here. No damage in Laverne so far that we have seen. Best case scenario here has been realized. It is heading up toward Buffalo, so you folks in Buffalo, 938. Tornado warning for you here just to the southwest of Buffalo, pushing to the northeast. You see the tornado vortex signature now is rapidly starting to dissipate. Rapidly dissipating here, so this is good. This was a half-mile plus wide multi-vortex wedge tornado with violent motion. Now, there is damage back down to the southwest. Let's go over to Corey Inman, talk about that. Mike Bennett and Jeremy, if you see any damage, let us know. So far, the best-case scenario, the miracle has occurred. It looks like it lifted before it got to Laverne. There's no power in Laverne, but we cannot find any damage. Let's go to Corey Inman. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, I'm on Highway 270 here, coming across the damage path where it crossed 270. I can tell you that back north of Catesby, the damage path is at least a quarter, if not a half a mile wide where it came through there. There is one home that was totally destroyed. I've got power lines crossing 270 right here, Mike. There was one home back there north of Catesby that was totally destroyed. There's another home that they were checking on. I know our very own JW is back there assisting with search and rescue at that house.
You guys have JW on the phone.
And not to take attention away from this, but if we focus back to the southwest, there's another storm coming up that also has a confirmed tornado with it that is following the exact same track. So I'm going to try to get over here and get back out in position in front of that one as that one moves up here. But there's a lot of damage here, Mike, from northeast of Follett all the way up to southwest.
You guys have the video there. Okay, Corey Inman. Okay, Corey, if you can, describe that damage to that house that was destroyed down 6 north of Catesby.
The house itself, Mike, is completely gone. The power lines in front of the house were snapped off. There is a tree that was in front of the house that it has stripped the bark off. So we're every bit of F4, maybe even a little bit higher. But there's major damage north of Catesby.
Okay, was that an actual purpose-built home? Could you tell what it was?
It was a home. The fire department was on the scene. They were trying to get in contact to see if anybody was there. The house was. They said it was too hard to try to find out if anybody was actually in the home, Mike. Okay,
and JW is back there. He'll be checking in with us for a follow-up on that area north of Catesby. So what has happened here, and the circulation here quickly has weakened. Looks like it was basically in the process of spinning down as it came through Laverne. So the tornado lifted. It was on the ground a very short distance southwest of Laverne. Looks like it was beginning the spin down stage. But you see that red-green, very bright, very hot, every indication here of a tornado, but it looks very much like it did indeed lift. So our prayers are answered there for Laverne. Power's out Laverne. We've got 2 trackers and the county law there looking in Laverne for any damage. We're going to check back with our trackers right now. You folks in Buffalo, it is heading up your way, but it has weakened considerably. It looks like it was in the weakening stage as it came through Laverne. Probably had a lot to do with it hopefully had been lifted. Now, we haven't checked everywhere around around Laverne, but so far we've got 2 crews in town, 2 crews right outside of town. We don't see any damage in Laverne. Home destroyed southwest of Laverne, down north of Catesby. Half-mile wide damage track, multi-vortex. Let's go over to Mike Bennett here with an update. Mike?
Okay, Mike. Saw law enforcement congregating on the east side over here, and I thought, let me go up there, Mike, and see if they come across anything. Give me just a minute, and I'll talk to them and see if they had any damages.
The tornado vortex signature is weakening, continuing to weaken quickly. The tornado warning comes right up to the southwest side of Buffalo right now, but it is weakening. That is good news. Let's go over to Jeremy Carter with an update here in Laverne. Jeremy, have you seen any damage?
What was south?
No, Mike, I haven't seen any
Okay,
damage.
I know about those. Sorry, thank you.
A lot of leaf litter on the road. The folks in Laverne have no power. But for the people in Laverne, they definitely need to put their attention back towards these other supercells that are coming up this line. I'm going to try to get in a position where I can get out of the rain, where I can be free to move around freely in case we go under another tornado warning. Back to you.
Okay, there is another supercell coming up to the southwest of Laverne right now. That's a heads up for you folks in May, Oklahoma. So a heads up for you folks in May, Oklahoma. So a supercell coming up from the southwest. It's passing Follett, the Follett area, so it's a heads up for you folks in May, Oklahoma. Again, if you're just joining us tonight, we're going to be showing you the video here coming up momentarily of our storm trackers. And this has been a fantastic night. It's been a fantastic night for the folks in Laverne, okay? It has not been a fantastic night for the folks 6 miles north of Catesby because there's a house destroyed there. But the tornado, which was a multi-vortex, large, violent tornado, lifted. Every indications are that it lifted right before coming into Laverne, and the middle of the spin aloft went right over the top of town. But right now, only leaf damage, power's out in Laverne. But this has been a prayer answered for Laverne. There's just no two ways about that, because it was a huge tornado earlier and very, very violent. Now, there is some destruction back down here to the southwest. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video here. And this is going to be a short while ago as the sun was setting up in northwest Oklahoma, and that's what was heading for Laverne. You see the power flashes there. This was ground truth, a half a mile wide plus from our storm trackers. They drove through the damage track, and it was ripping bark off of trees. And there is a house destroyed 6 north of Catesby. We don't know what the status is of any occupants that might have been there. Let's hope nobody was in that house, because according to Corey Inman, that house is gone. 6 north of Catesby, southwest of Laverne. It crossed 412. Here's the video looking west on 412 earlier. This is not now. This is not now. This was earlier. This is log cabin here in the foreground looking westbound on 412. Power flashes when it crossed 412 southwest of Laverne. All right, and then it came up to Laverne and it lifted as the spin went right over the top of Laverne, especially the west and northern sides from the very center point of Laverne. But the entire circulation went right over the top of Laverne. But it looks like it lifted, best we can tell. Now, there is still a circulation here. Now, it is still powerful. It's re-intensified, still heading for Buffalo, all right? So now we transition to Buffalo. So you folks in Buffalo, tornado precautions here, need to take those, all right? You know, I think a miracle actually really just simply happened, because it looks like it was on the ground, it lifted over Laverne, and it may very well be right back on the ground right now. So a considerable threat for Buffalo, the county seat of Harper County in northwestern Oklahoma. Let's go back over to our storm trackers. Let's start you off with Mike Bennett. Go, Mike.
Mike, talked to law enforcement. They don't know of any damage in Laverne, okay? So good news there. We are eastbound out of Laverne right now. We're going to kind of stay with this tornadic circulation as it approaches Buffalo. Hopefully it'll weaken. I'm not sure if it's on the ground because I can't see anything. I'm in heavy rain right now. We're going to try to punch through. We're going to try to also get in position for the storm southwest approaching May. Mike?
Where are you right now, Mike Bennett?
Mike, we're probably going to be about 4 miles east of Laverne, 3 miles east of Laverne, and I'm not sure what the highway is. But straight out of Laverne, it's going to come up north of May.
Okay, so you're 3 to 4 to the east of Laverne, up in northwestern Oklahoma. So Buffalo, Mike Bennett is basically continuing to track through east side of Laverne over to Buffalo, Oklahoma. If you're just joining us, we had a miracle tonight. We really did. A very, very large, very violent tornado fortunately skipped over the town of Laverne. There is a house, at least one home that we know of, that is destroyed 6 north of Catesby, Oklahoma. We don't know whether or not there are any occupants in that house, but the bark was stripped off the trees at that house, and the house is gone. Let me show you the video here of the tornado. This was back when Corey Inman was tracking it, as well as Mike Bennett, JW, Chris Mcbee. Large, violent wedge tornado at sunset. There's 412 there, as it was on the left-hand side of 412, Northwest Passage down by Log Cabin, south of Laverne. The tornado's still on the ground right there. And there it is at sunset, at crossing 412, looking westbound there from Log Cabin. Again, that was a while ago. That was at about 8:45. So that was about 40 minutes ago. As it was crossing 412 on the ground, there are power flashes. That's Jeremy Carter right there. And it looks very much like it did lift over Laverne. Now let's go back to radar here, and we're going to check back with our storm trackers and see if they've hopefully find no damage. Again, one home is destroyed down 6 north of Catesby. So several supercells here with tornado warnings now. The Laverne tornado that was southwest of Laverne is now southwest of Buffalo. It skipped directly over Laverne, sparing Laverne. Just no two ways about that. That was a miracle. It may be back on the ground the way radar looks, just southwest of Laverne. The hook is re-intensified with it. There's another hook with a tornado down by Follette, tracking up toward May, Oklahoma, and I think Corey Inman is on that. So that's a heads up for you folks in May. So there are 2 very mean supercells and dangerous supercells in northwest Oklahoma right now. We only have a report of 1 home destroyed. Don't know about any occupants in that house. Bark stripped off the trees from what we do believe is likely an EF4 tornado. Violent motion, multi-vortex, half-mile wide, perhaps a bit larger than that at one point. It looks like it did indeed lift over the town of Laverne after the circulation tracked directly over the town. So Laverne looks like they all took shelter. Power is out in Laverne. There's some leaf damage, things like that, but you know, basically the big picture is Laverne looks to be in fantastic shape. Let's go over to one of our trackers, Jeremy Carter, I think still in Laverne. Jeremy?
Yeah, I just came south out of Laverne. I'm nearing Highway 412, fixing to go back and get on this other rotation back to the southwest, get a vantage on it where I can watch it as it comes back into the state out of Texas. Mike, back to you.
Okay, that's Jeremy Carter now down toward Log Cabin here again, going down to this next storm coming up toward May, Oklahoma. Let's go back over to Mike Bennett here. Mike Bennett, what have you learned here since we've joined you last, other than more great news, right? What else do you know about Laverne, and where are you tracking now toward Buffalo?
Yeah, Mike, I'm going east out of Buffalo. I'm out of the rain. I've got the mesocyclones off to my east, northeast, and I've got a lot of lightning helping me out with it. Since I just came out of the rain, I've got to have a minute or two to get my bearings on structure here. But right now, I look at just at first glance, okay, I don't see anything on the ground, but that doesn't mean anything. As strong as this storm system has been since it was southwest of Follette, Texas, this very possibly could be producing a tornado right now, and if it's not right now, it very possibly could just minutes before it comes into Laverne or into Buffalo. So if anybody in Buffalo, anybody living around Buffalo needs to be in a storm shelter right now, and I'm just driving, looking left, and I don't see anything on the ground right now, Mike. I've been watching for power flashes, but nothing on the ground.
Okay, that's
that I can see.
And you do see the mesocyclone, right? You've got a actual visual of the mesocyclone which produced the tornado back southwest.
Yes, Mike. I've got the rain-free base, so I can't identify a wall cloud right now. Actually, Mike, I've got a left option. I'm getting ready to turn left here for just a minute. I'm just going to just turn left long enough to watch this thing for a minute, and then I've got an east option. I've got to get back out in front of it, and but I'm going to turn left here for just a minute to see if I can make out any structure on it, and turning north on Highway 46 here. If I stay on this, I'm going to be behind it, so I've got to go east. So I'm going to just come up here just to take a look to the north, and we've got quite a bit of lightning helping us out pretty well on it. But of course, you have to have the lightning has got to be in the right place to backlight a wall cloud or a funnel cloud or even a tornado. And but the good news is I haven't seen any power flashes, and so that's could be an indication there's nothing on the ground. But right now I don't. I just see a rain-free base. I'm looking back in the rain, so I need to get to the east and north, and then where I could look back and identify structure, Mike. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go back to, do we have Corey Inman, guys? Let's go back over to Corey Inman. Okay, so let's go over to Max 1, kind of back out of this for a moment, review as to what we have had going on right now. Tornado warning continues for Harper County. There's a lot of rotation back southwest of May, Oklahoma on the next supercell down the line. And this is in far northwestern Oklahoma. A miracle has been answered tonight because a tornado skipped over Laverne. And it was a very, very large tornado. Here's the tornado warning now, still northeast of Laverne up to Buffalo, Oklahoma. All right, up in Harper County. Here it is right here. Tornado warning, same storm. Next one down the line has got a lot of rotation with it coming up. Back up to about Log Cabin, folks. So in other words, it's going to be close to a similar track. May and Log Cabin. And I do know that Corey Inman's down there. Let's get him on the Gentner. Who is this right here? Who's this up here in this upper box up here? Who's that? Tell me. Who is this up here? Right up here. Who's that? Let's go to Jeremy Carter here, get an update. Jeremy, got a lot of lightning. Tell us what you know. Still good news here for Laverne, right?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of over here where the tornado crossed 412. I got a lowering off to my southwest, pretty defined lowering. Looks like we got some rotation beginning to tick up a little bit, at least from what I can see. I'm having a hard time picking everything out. I need a little bit more lightning. I'm going to watch this cell closely as it tracks back to the north and east. Mike, back to you.
Okay. Harper County Sheriff here report very limited damage up in Harper County, according to the Harper County Sheriff. Fantastic news. Now, we do know it was on the ground back at 412 west of Log Cabin, so there's maybe some damage out there to power lines and things like that. But as far as we know from the law enforcement up in Harper County, we're talking about Laverne in particular, no reports of any substantial damage up in Laverne. So we just had a little bit of leaf damage and things like that. So absolutely the best case scenario in Laverne. This was a miracle answered. It just simply was. Let's show you the video here. We got to go back to it again. Looking at this tornado, it developed so very quickly. It was up in the northeast Texas panhandle there. The power flashes, folks, this is a killer right here. This is what this is. It just is. Coming in here at sunset, half-mile wide, multi-vortex, grinding the ground, tearing bark off trees. It leveled a house down 6 north of Catesby. Let's go to Corey Inman. He's back on that southwest supercell right now that is also coming up toward Log Cabin. Corey, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Mike, I'm sitting here just south of Laverne here at 283 and 412, looking back to the southwest. Haven't been able to make out anything back in there as far as any lowerings or rotation just yet, Mike. It's still a little bit off in the distance here, but this storm, it started to cycle down about 10 minutes ago, and it's just the increase in the presentation on it in the last couple of minutes has just been explosive. So we're going to drop south here just a little bit and let this thing come to us, and hopefully we're not dealing with another situation like we just had. Right.
It is almost tracking on the same track, okay? And we got to keep in mind here, right? We got to keep in mind that Laverne is without power. We think all of Laverne is without power. So I think at this juncture, what we really got to do is kind of rely on social media and things like that to help get the word back out to Laverne. Now, there's not another tornado warning for Laverne, not right now, okay? Let's be completely clear about that. But there is another supercell back down here that's got a lot of rotation with it. We've got 2 of our trackers on that back storm. That's JW and Corey back down here. And it is severe right now, but as of this moment in time, let's be perfectly clear, it doesn't have a tornado warning on it. But also let's be perfectly clear that it's taking a track very similar to the one that just came into Harper County and fortunately skipped over Laverne, all right? And now Laverne is without power. That's a rarity for that to happen, but it's happening tonight in terms of the track of the storms, okay? So my point is that folks in Laverne may have trouble getting communication to one another, right? So it may be, battery-operated radio, things like that, and maybe a mobile device, perhaps getting out social media on a mobile device. That's what we're looking at right here. So we need to take that into consideration. Let's hope this storm back down to the southwest does not does not become tornadic, but it is a supercell with a hook, and it's now coming past Catesby right now. Coming past Catesby, and the lead one is now going on the southwest side of Buffalo with the one that skipped directly over Laverne. That was a prayer answered there, no doubt about it. And the second one now coming up from the southwest is back down by Catesby again, which is where the Laverne tornadic supercell came from. So they're traveling on a very similar track right here. So Log Cabin heads up for you. Again, Buffalo right now, tornado warning continues 9:40, so that's in 3 minutes. 3 minutes now for Buffalo. Tornado warning is in effect. For Buffalo, here's the one down by Catesby. That's going to be May at 10:02, but also the southern sides of Laverne down by Log Cabin and near Catesby on up to well north of May. Here's Fort Supply, May located right here. So very close to May, north and west of May. Again, it's severe, not a tornado warning. Now, this one still has a tornado warning. It's now on the west side of Buffalo. Looks like it is cleared. It is cleared Buffalo on the west side of town going to the north side of town, all right? So that's good news. So it is cleared Buffalo on the west and the northwest side of town. Looks to be tornadic circulation. Next stop for that is going to be west of May Ranch. West of May Ranch up on the Kansas border. That's next stop for that one at the river. Kansas border at the river, okay, west of May Ranch. That's the next stop for that circulation. Then Kansas can have it at that point, right? So it's going to be crossing into Kansas at the river, west of May Ranch, northeast of Buffalo is where that's going. That's a vicious circulation right there, easily and probably likely still on the ground, the way the radar presentation looks. Let's go to Mike Bennett on that and talk about it. Mike's been looking at it. It's now northwest of Buffalo. Mike, what do you think?
All right, Mike, I'm trying to make way over there. It's pulling away from me. I'm on a blacktop here. I'm getting ready to turn north here. We're in a mile, and the main goal of that is to look for power flashes, okay? I'm not going to be able to see the tornado. It's too far north of me, but I will be able to see power flashes if it's hitting anything, if it's on the ground. And so that's here in about another half a mile. I'll be turning north, and I'll be able to look straight north. Right now it's off to my left, and I just do not have enough time to look up there and between the trees and everything, Mike. So we'll have a good shot over here in just another maybe quarter mile, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go back down the line to Corey Inman on that next storm down the line that's going to be approaching, especially the area down by Log Cabin. Corey, you're tracking that. There is not a tornado warning on it right now. You're looking at the trends on it. What do you think?
Mike, can you confirm they just issued a new tornado warning on this storm?
Yes, I think I can. In fact, indeed, it just came out. Yep, new tornado warning on it. And it's going to be coming up on the west side of Log Cabin right now. Where are you?
I am just south of Log Cabin right now, trying to get a look back to the southwest. Don't see anything right now, but I'm going to have to get down here to the south and get down on that side of it to be able to take a look, Mike.
Good grief. It's another huge circulation. You say you're a mile south of Log Cabin?
I'm a mile south of Log Cabin, headed south on 283 right now.
Okay. Are you at the bend of the road? Are you at the bend yet at 283? Okay, so basically Log Cabin, another tornadic circulation now, ramping right back up and heading for Log Cabin there on the south side of Laverne. So that's going to be a tornado warning now for Log Cabin, and that's going to be up into the southeast side of Laverne. Southeast side of Laverne is where that is heading. Hopefully it'll stay to the south of Laverne, but that is a new tornado warning. You folks in May go just to your west and north. It may split between Laverne and May is where this next one may be going. And the circulation now is coming up right up on Log Cabin. Corey Inman, you back with us? Let's go back over to Corey. Is that you?
Yeah, Mike, I'm here.
Made it to the bend yet in 283? Have you made it to the bend yet that goes east?
I am headed south, Mike, to drop down on the south end of this thing. The rotation is back to my southwest, so from where I was located, I'm having to drop south here a little bit, Mike. But,
okay. How far south? How far south of Log Cabin are you right now? let's go back over to radar. Let's go back over to radar here. So a new tornado warning. So the one at Buffalo has cleared Buffalo, all right? It's cleared it to the northwest. It's going to go into Kansas now, west of May Ranch and the river. All right, it's going to go into Kansas. So Coldwater, Kansas, places like that. If you know anybody up there, tell them it's coming their way. And back down to the southwest of Laverne and near Log Cabin is another tornado warning circulation here, and it's now coming into Log Cabin. Corey, Inman, if you can hear me, you might go ahead and stop about where you are right now. As the rotation is going to go into Log Cabin here, coming up here very, very soon. It is large. It's a large, very strong circulation. So that's going to be the area down here to the southwest, coming up to Catesby, the southeast side of Laverne, and the northwest side of May, Oklahoma is where that is tracking. So it's very close to Log Cabin right now. Corey, if you can hear me, take a look to the west. Let's see what you can see. There's Laverne, back down to Log Cabin. It's going to go right over Log Cabin here in just a couple of minutes. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, I'm just northeast of Catesby here, looking back to the west, and there was a lowering in there, Mike, but I couldn't tell if anything was on the ground or not. But the hills up here, trying to get to a high spot where I can turn around and take a look, but I'm just to the east, northeast of Catesby, looking back to the west, and cannot confirm anything on the ground right now.
Okay, that's definitely good news. Let me show you velocities here. So here's the tornado circulation going up north of Buffalo. It's going to be crossing the river here very soon up on the Kansas border up here. That's the one that skipped over Laverne. And Kevin just passed along that he's talked to the Laverne Police Department. No reports of major damage in Laverne. We're going to continue to gather information about that, but it does continue to appear to be the case that Laverne, the tornado skipped over the town of Laverne. That circulation now is up to the northwest of Buffalo. There it is as it tracked over Laverne. Earlier, it was a half-mile wide multi-vortex, we believe, F4 tornado, easy F4 tornado. Stripping bark off trees. It did level a house 6 north of Catesby. We don't know about any news on the occupants of those folks, but there it is earlier at 9:05 as the circulation went directly over Laverne. Very powerful, very large, very strong. Now it looks to be another large tornado on the ground. This looks to be another big tornado. Has a similar presentation to the F4 circulation it had earlier that was a half-mile wide. Again, there's Buffalo. So northbound out of Buffalo up into Kansas. Let's go to Mike Bennett on that. Mike, it looks like a giant tornado here north of Buffalo. What do you see?
Okay, Mike, I tell you what, since you said it cleared Buffalo, was moving into Kansas, I turned around to cover these storms coming back towards Laverne. But I did think of something, Mike. The people in Laverne don't have electricity. They don't have television. So if you live outside somewhere in Oklahoma and Kansas, you got family members, you got friends in Laverne, be on the cell phone calling them, let them know that there's another tornado possibly moving into town. But right now, Mike, I'm heading back to try to get back in position on this storm approaching Log Cabin, unless you want me to turn around and go back north. It's up to you.
No, we'll let them have it up there. It's going to be crossing 183. Where are you from Buffalo, Mike?
I'm south of Buffalo. We're heading on 183. We're heading back to Highway 412 and then try to get back to the northwest, Mike.
Okay, so again, west of May Ranch up there. Then it's going to go into Coldwater, Kansas. Man. That's got every bit of a sign of an F4 here, and a big one too. These are the big tornado circulations here. Really large, large area of high velocities there. Looks to be a really big tornado right there. North of Buffalo going up into Kansas. Coldwater, Kansas, all right? If you know anybody up there in Coldwater, they probably know about it, but sometimes when it's in Oklahoma, they might not. Wichita, Kansas State Network, TV station up there. They do a nice job up there for Kansas, but if you know anybody in Coldwater and that surrounding area, tell them, because that looks to be a life-threatening tornado right there looking at velocity. That's really big and really violent. Okay, so here's the next one down the line, and this is going to be a large circulation that's not quite as intense, but it's coming up on the north side of Log Cabin. You know, it's not going to miss Laverne by very much. Again, Laverne's without power, so you can call them. Maybe you can text them, maybe social media them, hopefully on their phones if their phones are charged. let them know they need to go ahead and be in their tornado safe spot still and don't let their guard down. Let's go to Corey Inman. He's just to the south of Log Cabin. Corey, it's going to go on the north side of Log Cabin. You're probably looking back north again, and it's about almost due north of you right now.
Yeah, Mike, I'm on 283 here, just about 4 miles to the northeast of of Catesby, looking back to the north. There's a pretty large lowering right here over the top of 283, Mike. Should be crossing Log Cabin right now, maybe just a little bit south of the Log Cabin area. Don't see a tornado on the ground, but there is a large lowering in there, Mike. There's a lot of rain here on the backside. You can see the lowering right over 283, right here in front of us. Probably a mile and a half in front of us, Mike, if that, maybe a mile. So like I said, don't see a tornado on the ground, but there is a large lowering here crossing 283.
You haven't seen any power flashes, have you?
No power flashes.
Okay.
Haven't seen anything that looks like a funnel.
Okay. All right.
Don't see anything.
Jeremy
that looks
Carter is on the north side of this. I do believe he's on the south side of Laverne. Let's quickly check in with him. Jeremy, it's going to track just north of Log Cabin. What do you see?
Yeah, one thing that I have noticed about that couplet kind of headed up towards Laverne, rain was wrapping around, and it appears like another developing couplet to my south. And so I'm backing up a little bit east down 412 where I can stay out of the rain, so we're going to have a clear advantage on this, kind of headed towards the May area. But I could see a lot of motion in a very low wall cloud before the rain began to wrap around it, Mike. Back to you.
Okay, let's go to Chris Mcbee. Chris Mcbee, tell us what you got. I know you're on that also. Northwest side of Log Cabin right now. It looks to be a really large circulation, perhaps not quite as violent. Let's hope that it isn't. What do you see from your vantage point? You've tracked it out of the Texas Panhandle. Where are you and what do you see right now?
Right now, Mike, I'm on 283. I am between Shattuck and Laverne. I'm heading due north here in Ellis County. Watching off in the distance. I haven't seen the lowering yet that Corey was mentioning over 283, but I'll be in range here shortly. I might also mention there's another cell back behind this one that we're talking about as well, still Texas Panhandle. So these are kind of training over the same areas, but I'm coming up here and I'll have a visual real soon, Mike.
Okay, looks like it may be a tornado vortex again. Just real fast here. Let's talk to Corey Inman. Quickly, Corey. Looks like a TVS is forming just about a mile north of Log Cabin right now. The most important thing is we got to let everybody in Laverne. Power apparently is coming back on now in Laverne. They need to stay in their safe spot here for at least a little while longer. Corey Inman, it looks like a TVS a mile north of Log Cabin. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, if you look in the lightning shots here, you can see this lowering is right over and just to the east of 283. Haven't had any power flashes, anything that would indicate that a tornado's on the ground in there. But like Jeremy said, there's so much rain in here that it's really hard to see unless you're in there right with it. We're getting
that's awfully low back in there, Corey. Very, 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 very low back in there. Let's go to Jeremy. Let's go back to Jeremy here. That's just really, really low. That lightning flash there was super low. Jeremy, it's coming up on you. Tell us exactly where you are, Jeremy, and it's about a mile north of Log Cabin right now. What do you see?
I am 2.5 miles east of the 412 junction, or where you turn back north to go to Laverne. I've got an RFD area of rain wrapping around this. I do see some flashes. I can't make out whether or not they're power flashes or not. Really, my vision is obscured by rain, and I've got kind of an area of circulation just right up on top of me. I'm really having to kind of watch on both ends here, Mike. Back to you.
Re-rack that. No injuries in Beaver County, according to the Beaver County Sheriff. 2 homes destroyed north of Catesby. We were showing you video of that a short while ago from Corey Inman. No injuries. This was, we believe, very much an EF4 tornado. These are the kind that are so dangerous. You know, you talk about the weather history in this state and the weather lore of this state. You know, in Woodward back in 1947, getting hit by a big tornado at night. Kind of a similar situation tonight. Sun was setting, large multi-vortex tornado, violent in nature, a half a mile wide plus, quickly developed. Look at the size of that thing, and moved quickly toward Laverne. And it was pretty much red line, center line for Laverne. We could see the motion from our 3 trackers who had it triangulated, and it was a wedge multi-vortex. You see the motion right there as the sun was starting to set, scouring the ground. 2 homes destroyed, 6 north of Catesby. No reports of injuries. Power is coming back on in Laverne right now. 270 is closed between May and Slapout. 270 is closed between May and Slapout, and there it is, reaching one of its larger points there, multi-vortex in structure as the sun was setting down by Catesby. And there's the damage to the home, which was, according to Corey, completely destroyed. The home was destroyed and bark was ripped off the trees there, and the power lines were taken off the poles. And that's one home that has been destroyed, one of two, in southeastern Beaver County, 6 miles north of Catesby. But as of right now, we have no reports of any injuries. So this is absolutely the best case scenario right here. You see the power flashes inside the vortex right there. Look at the rising motion. Look carefully there on both sides. See how fast all that's going up? These type tornadoes scour the landscape, and they are so dangerous. And this tracked and then skipped over the town of Laverne. So it was a miracle. There's no two ways about it in northwest Oklahoma tonight. And we don't have any reports of any injuries as of right now. Power is coming back on in Laverne. You folks in Laverne, we welcome you back. If you're with us, you were probably watching this coverage before it got to your town, and then your power went out and you all were hunkered down. It looks very much like it skipped over your community. We have no reports of any damage in Laverne and any major damage that we know of between the EM and the county sheriff and our team of trackers and other law enforcement and agencies that are up there. We have some tree limbs down, some leaves are shredded, but that's all we have right now in your town of Laverne. If you're concerned about your friends and neighbors up there, that's what we have right now, and we believe that is going to stick for the time being. We think that is the case. So this is a miracle up here. There goes the circulation. That's what went over your town. Right up here on the border, west of May Ranch and north of Buffalo. It's now weakening a bit. Coldwater, Kansas is up there about 15 miles up into Kansas. Here's the other circulation, which is now just to your southwest. So you got to be hunkered down in your safe spot still. Guys, it is quite strong here just to the southwest of Laverne, and it is now approaching the southern sides of Laverne. Looks like a tornado here still on the ground. So let's hope there's not any additional tornadoes here, but that is a strong circulation. Let's go back to Corey Inman here. This is about 2 miles south of Laverne, down by the cemetery down there. Corey Inman, what do you see?
Yeah, Mike, I'm coming up on Log Cabin now from 283. Still nothing that would indicate that we have a tornado on the ground. I am watching 2 areas of rotation, though. There's one due north of me that is coming into the south end of Laverne right now. And there's also another area of rotation just to my northeast that should be coming up on the west side of May. So 2 areas of rotation here, just kind of hanging out between the 2 of them to see if something happens, Mike.
Now, you don't see any power flashes, do you, looking to your north?
Mike, we haven't had any power flashes at all. I haven't seen anything that's even resembled a funnel from my location. But there are, like I said, there are 2 lowerings in there, one just to the west of May and one on the south end of Laverne.
Okay, the one on the south side of Laverne, yeah, there's another pretty strong circulation. Good grief. There's another one coming up southwest of Laverne that Corey was just making reference to. Let's go back over to radar here. Yeah, wow. Okay, so we have this one here. Looks like it's going to go on the southeast side of Laverne here, all right? So down by the cemetery down there, north of the plant. Here's Log Cabin right here. So it's about where the one back in 1991, if you remember, if you're around in 1991 on May 15th, that's about where this one is right now. Let's hope it's not on the ground. But there is a tornado warning in effect, all right? That's a tornado vortex signature right there. But the one back in 1991 on May 15th, about the exact same track down by the cemetery. Tornado warning continues. Laverne should stay in their safe spot. Also, another strong circulation. Corey was just talking about this, and Jeremy Carter also talking about this to the southwest of Log Cabin. And you see the motion on that tracking also up toward Laverne and Log Cabin, right? So Jeremy was down here on Northwest Passage down by Log Cabin. Let's see if he's got a visual on that, checking in with him right now. Jeremy Carter, go.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know if you can tell on my screen, but I'm looking at the base. My camera is actually pointed toward Laverne. I am not seeing any power flashes, but right over my head, I'm right on the edge of this newer developing rotation, and I'm watching as close as I can. I'm getting a lot of motion, a lot of lifting, but it's very hard to see, Mike. Back to you.
Okay, I tell you what, that circulation there is trying to lift to the north, and it's just right there on the southeast side of Laverne right now. Corey Inman, let's go to radar here. Corey Inman, do you see any, hopefully you don't see any power flashes here? This is a vicious circulation here on the east side of Laverne right now. It lifted to the north and tried to lift into town here the way it looks. Have you seen any power flashes in Laverne? We understand power's back on. So you folks in Laverne got to stay hunkered down. Go, Corey.
I haven't seen any power flashes, Mike. Like I said, we're right here on the southern end of the area of rotation. Just to the south of Laverne. Haven't seen any power flashes at all. This thing's moving northeast. May skirt just to the southeast of Laverne, Mike, but I haven't seen any power flashes up to this point.
Okay, that's good news for sure. Good news for sure. So tornado warning continues for Laverne. Circulation now on the southeast side of Laverne, tracking up toward Buffalo. Let's go to Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett is in between Laverne and Buffalo right now. Mike, it looks like there may be a tornado back on the ground here again, southeast side of Laverne. Let's hope not, but it's tracking toward Buffalo and right toward you. What do you see?
Okay, Mike, I'm coming into May right now, and so I could get back to 280 or 183 and get back north.
Turn back around. Turn back around and go north.
Option. I could go north from May.
Yeah, turn back around and go northbound here. You don't see any power flashes up there, do you?
No, Mike. We've been traveling northwest towards May for quite a while here now, and haven't seen any power flashes. But we've got an option in May. I could go north out of there. That's where I'm going to go.
Buffalo 1027, folks, is where that's tracking from the southeast side of Laverne. Buffalo at 1027. Mike Bennett, let's keep you here in the mix. Let's go to radar here and show you this. Again, tornado warning here, 1027. It's now 9:58. 1027 for Buffalo. Tornadic circulation southeast side of Laverne. Let's go back over to Mike Bennett, get a quick update here. Mike, still no power flashes northbound out of May right now. You're just on the south side of that circulation.
Right, Mike. Coming into May right now and no power flashes. There's a lot of lightning, okay, but I haven't seen any distinct power flashes. And I've got a fairly good view of the base. That it's kind of lit up in there, but until I get north and can really study it with several power flashes and identify structure, then right now I can't report a tornado on the ground. But we're getting ready to turn north here now, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. So let's see what we have going on right here. Let's go. There's the tornado video from earlier. So if you're joining us here, there were tornadoes up in the northeast Texas panhandle, and basically that tornado skipped over Laverne. So that circulation now is going up toward Coldwater, Kansas right here, 1043. Protection, Kansas, Coldwater, Kansas, west of May Ranch up there on the Kansas-Oklahoma border. Then we have a tornadic circulation the southeast side of Laverne. Southeast side of Laverne right now heading for Buffalo at 1027. 1027 Buffalo, tornado warning there. And then out by Slapout, there's another tornadic circulation. No tornado warning on it yet, but it's a small, tight area of spin that could be a weaker tornado right now near Slapout. And that's heading for 1020 for Laverne. We've got trackers basically on these other two circulations here. You see the one out there to the west, quite a bit smaller there. And the one on the east side of Laverne has cleared Laverne, but is again heading directly for Buffalo. Mike Bennett is northbound out of May. So, Mike, continue northbound here. Let's go back to Corey Inman with an update down not too far from Log Cabin. Again, no power flashes, right, Corey? This is good.
Right, Mike. I'm east of Log Cabin coming into I'm probably 4 to 5 miles to the west of May. Looking back to the north at the area of rotation and haven't seen any power flashes. Trying to see what we got here, Mike. Just a large lowering off to the north. It's going to go to the northwest of May on up towards Buffalo. And as it moves off to the northeast here, Bennett should be in pretty good position to see it. It's on the south end, just northwest of May right now, Mike.
Okay, let's go over to Mike Bennett, northbound out of May. He's basically going to have an intercept on that. It could be on the ground. It's just a powerful circulation there. Let's go back to Mike Bennett, northbound out of May. Mike?
Okay, Mike. Now here's what I need to know. Do I need to be concerned about something right just northwest of May or southeast of Laverne? Are we talking about two different rotations? Because I'm about 2 miles north of May right now.
It's the only circulation that you have to be concerned about. It's east-northeast of Laverne, but let me tell you, it is tracking directly toward Buffalo right now. It's a straight line for Buffalo.
Okay. All right, we're going to blast north in. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't driving into something here just north of May.
So you see we kind of have a track here. There's a track here that's developed from the storm north of Buffalo to the storm on the northeast side of Laverne to the storm just this side of Slapout. All right, so there's a track here that's developed, and the middle of that track is basically Laverne. So Laverne, we do understand your power's back. So the second circulation now has cleared your town just on the east-northeast side of Laverne. So it's cleared it now. There's a weaker circulation that's severe currently as of this moment, not tornadic. However, it is a fairly tight but small circulation. So we have to watch that very carefully because it's also heading up toward Laverne. Here's your time of arrival for Buffalo for the second circulation now on the east side of Laverne. It's 10:27 for the Buffalo area, and then here's that smaller, a little bit weaker circulation near Slapout. That's going to be 10:20 for Laverne, all right? 10:20 for Laverne. It's 10:02 right now, so 18 minutes from right now. That's what we have going on in northwestern Oklahoma. Let's go back over to the video here. We're going to recheck with our storm tracker. Still very much an evolving situation, but this is what we know. Multiple tornadoes came out of the northeast Texas panhandle. Just before sunset tonight, this particular tornado developed very, very quickly and became a half-mile wide plus multi-vortex tornado with violent motion in it, both multi-vortex and up the sides of the tornado. We could see independently 3 and 4 vortices inside of it at one time, the wall cloud extremely low to the ground, and this tracked 6 miles north of Catesby. 6 north of Catesby, Oklahoma, the southeastern tip of Beaver County, southeastern tip of Beaver County, and 2 homes were destroyed 6 north of Catesby. We do not have any reports of any injuries, which is an excellent way to be able to report that. No injuries that we know of. 2 homes destroyed, and the houses were, the house we saw from Corey Inman was basically gone. And then it came up to the west side of Log Cabin, and here's 412 here, Log Cabin area. Power flashes near 412, west side of Log Cabin by 2 miles, 2.5 miles. There it is right there. This is looking westbound on the Northwest Passage or Highway 412, looking straight west. There's the tornado right there. Laverne is right up here off the edge of the screen as it's tracking toward Laverne. Crossed 412 with some power flashes. That was Jeremy Carter right there. And then the tornado lifted, and it lifted up and over Laverne. It may or may not have touched back down again to the west of Buffalo. Now it's going across the Kansas border into Kansas. So that's what just happened over the past 2 hours or so. We've been on for almost 2 hours here. But again, these are the kind here that frankly are killers. These are big tornadoes, multi-vortex. They scour the landscape, coming in at sunset and even after dark. It could have been the worst case scenario, but it looks like it was the best case scenario. We do believe the folks are safe in the 2 homes that were destroyed 6 miles north of Catesby. Look at the motion there. So you have to look very carefully here. The motion is violent in that. So that is a wedge-shaped, violent, we believe to be about an F4 tornado, give or take. Could have been a little higher F4, could have been a high end 3, but that's a violent tornado right there, no doubt about it. Again, that's not live. That is not live. That was a while ago, right as the sun was setting, that violent motion there up to a half a mile wide. Now, let's go back over to radar. Go back to the current time. We have a hook here northeast of Laverne. Mike Bennett, let's go back to you. Heading for Buffalo here. You can see that. It's now immediately on the north side of you. What do you see north of May?
Yeah, Mike, I'm right here with the rotation. And so right now I'm a little concerned about something I've got just to my southwest here. And I saw a pretty good lowering here. I'm getting pretty strong west winds. And it's just really, really difficult to make anything out here because of it's just dark. We're just getting occasional lightning, and so I'm trying to just be very, very careful that I don't have something develop around me. And I've got my winds have died down a little bit now, and so that I've got just a little bit of a breeze here, so that has me a little bit concerned here because I'm directly underneath the updraft. And so I'm going to step out, Mike, so I can look around. Just want to make sure I don't have anything developed right on top because I'm right, according to GR Level 3, I'm right here with the rotation. I'm on Highway 46 north of May. Mike?
Okay, appreciate that. Looks like there's a chance the rotation may have weakened some on the northeast side, a little ways northeast of Laverne. It looks like it may have weakened, Mike. It is still traveling toward Buffalo, but it does look like it's weakened a fair amount. Let's hope that continues to be the case. The bright green and bright red there considerably weaker than it was a short time ago, east and northeast of Laverne. Here's Buffalo. The tornado warning you see comes right up to Buffalo here, and that is going to be east of Laverne. So you folks in Laverne, from that circulation, you are clear. Now back down, there's the time lapse there showing the two circulations, right? Here's the one that skipped over Laverne right here, coming up right there. That skipped over, there it goes. Then here comes the second one right there, and now that is over to the east of Laverne. Mike, it is directly where you are right now. You're pretty much right underneath that circulation. Might be on the east side of the highway. What do you see there on the east side of the highway? You're north of May, southwest of Buffalo. What do you see?
Okay, yeah, Mike, I'm standing outside the truck right now just looking. I'm just scanning the site, 360 degrees to my northeast from my position. I've got a rain-free base, a large, solid rain-free base, but I do not see a wall cloud in it. Okay, I don't see anything that's very low out of it, at least what the lightning is providing me here. And so I'm just kind of scanning every direction, and I'm starting to get. I got a breeze out of the west. It's not real strong, so I'm not in RFD, but so anyway, that's about all I can tell you right now, Mike. We're just scanning the skies, looking for power flashes, looking for any low reefs. Mike?
We're going to go over to the news desk here in just a minute and get an update from Jolene and Kevin. Let's give you a little update. Here's what's going on right now. So here's your update. Tornado warning does continue east of Laverne, all right? It's going to be to the northeast of May. It looks like it should hopefully track to the south of Buffalo, but it's reorganizing there just about a mile east of where Mike Bennett is right now. Tornado warning continues there. The circulation southwest of Laverne has weakened. The circulation southwest of Laverne has weakened. There's still several small areas of spin, but they're not tornadic there. And there's only a severe thunderstorm warning. But you folks in Laverne need to stay very, very alert and vigilant here because it is still back down to your southwest. But the circulation east of Laverne may be weakening. Looks like it is weakening, but the tornado warning continues. Rotation southwest of Laverne. Let's go to Corey Inman here. He's looking at all this right here down by Log Cabin. Corey, just kind of confirm all that. What do you think?
Yeah, Mike, I'm paralleling the south end of this storm, coming into Port Supply now and come up from the south, kind of playing leapfrog with Bennett here so that we can stay in front of it. But like I said, we haven't seen any power flashes or anything that would look like a tornado back in there. We've lost the lowering as we've kind of gotten away from it here, but still, people in Buffalo need to go ahead and pay attention and take their tornado precautions as this thing moves in, because these tornadoes tonight have been absolutely incredible, Mike, and they've done damage, and if you're not right up there with them, you're not going to be able to see them. So if this thing comes in and we're all surrounding this storm, everybody just kind of needs to pay attention and be on alert. Okay,
Corey, appreciate that. Back over to radar. So back down to the southwest, the Texas Panhandle has cleared out now. Texas Panhandle's cleared out. The rotation again has weakened here just to the west and southwest of Laverne. Still severe, but that rotation, which was ramping up a bit, but is now ramping back down. So that's a victory there. And the rotation there to the southwest of Buffalo looks like it'll go just to the south of Buffalo. A quick update here from Mike Bennett on that. Do you see anything, Mike Bennett, on that looking eastbound?
Yeah. Okay, Mike, I think I've identified what's left of a wall cloud. I believe it's either I've got a dry slot, I'm moving it, cutting into it, which typically spins them up. But I think this is becoming occluded. And, in fact, I just got a pretty good lightning shot of it there, and it looks like it's just kind of disorganized. And so right now, and I've had two ambulances running code 3 south of me towards May, so I'm not sure what's going on to the south here. But right now, no tornado on the ground north of May. Mike?
Okay.
Allow the northern tornado warning to expire.
Okay, so no tornado. Which one's going to be allowed to expire?
Northern.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one that was heading towards Kansas.
Okay, the one up in Kansas is going to be allowed to expire. That tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. The one that now is up in southern Kansas, heading for Cold Water and Protection, Kansas. So that one's going to be allowed to expire. Still the tornado warning on the southern side of Buffalo right now. Nothing back in the Texas Panhandle. It's cleared out for the time being. And a severe thunderstorm on the west side of Laverne. So you folks in Laverne, you have no tornado warning in effect for you, okay? It's now to your east, it's to the south-southwest of Buffalo. You folks in Buffalo continue your tornado precautions. And the activity now coming into Laverne, no doubt it's an edgy situation here because we've had so much going on up here in Laverne, but again, we have had the best case scenario here. No injuries in the 2 houses that were destroyed, and that what we think was a half-mile wide F4 multi-vortex did a nice job, a very nice job of providing a miracle, and it lifted up and over Laverne a short while ago. So this has all continued to be basically in check and the best case scenario for northwestern Oklahoma. There's also a flash flood watch in effect. Storms will likely redevelop later tonight, so a flash flood watch for western, northwestern parts of north central Oklahoma. But right now, this is all the action up here in Harper County in far northwest Oklahoma. Here's Woodward, and Kingfisher is right down there. So this is about 165, 70 miles to the northwest of Oklahoma City, but obviously we care very much for the folks up in northwest Oklahoma and have been providing this continuous coverage for you. Let's briefly go back to the tornado video and just show you. Corey Inman talked about what he saw, what Chris Mcbee has seen this evening, Jeremy Carter, Mike Bennett, JW. When you go talk about Oklahoma history, folks, you see pictures in textbooks and things, and you see, something that happened terrible with tornadoes in Oklahoma, and they look like those tornadoes right there. These wedge-shaped tornadoes, violent motion, multi-vortex, coming in at sunset, moving pretty quickly. And this is what was moving toward Laverne and skipped over Laverne. So best case scenario tonight, again, just to review, we believe power's back on in Laverne and no reports of any injuries from the Beaver County and the Harper County Emergency Managers and Sheriff's Office. Let's go to Kevin and Jolene here with more, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Again, 2 homes destroyed in Beaver County. Nobody heard or reported injuries anyway.
And now we're getting some information from, I believe, the Harper County Sheriff that there may be a little bit of damage in, say it again, in Laverne. There may be some damage in Laverne. We're going to check that out for you for sure, because earlier they were saying there wasn't any damage, but we're going to make sure and see what's happening there. Meanwhile, on the other side of our state, an entire Oklahoma town still under evacuation as the water continues to rise.
But a small sigh of relief here. 2 runaway barges filled with thousands of pounds of fertilizer and on a collision course with the Webbers Falls Dam did not cause the catastrophic failure officials were afraid of.
And that's great news. But News 4's Chase Horn with an update coming in just a few hours ago, and Chase, Webbers Falls avoided a potential disaster.